Good morning, good evening, good night. Welcome to NFT Live on the Web3 Network. We're going to take you around the industry in just around an hour. I've got some beautiful co-hosts as usual up here. My favorite episodes, though, are the ones where we get to introduce an absolutely new face, or a new face up here. He's been in the community for a long time. Excited to have DP on stage with us for his first ever episode up here. His content creator arc is just starting. I've got Hudah, Biggie Poppins, and Gifted as well joining me. I am Nifty Q. Again, going to be covering all the latest breaking news on the NFT, DeFi, Web3 side for y'all. So pack in, get in here. We'll figure it out. Anyways, DP, how are you doing, brother? Introduce yourself to all the wonderful people out there, and I'm happy to have you, man.
Hey man, anybody that's been in this community for any amount of time should know the name DP by now. You know, I only make the funniest jokes in the chat, right? I feel good, man. I made it to the big leagues, man. I'm here.
I love it. Give everybody out there kind of a little bit of your background. What were you doing working, in the industry for a long time, and what you're trying to do now?
Yes, sir. So I've been in crypto since around 2017. 2018 was my first professional experience. I was a researcher with Crypto for a year. Did that for a little while. Then I ended up transitioning over to LEO Trades, where I was actually a researcher, deep dive writer, and I still write deep dives to this day. And I act as a researcher in the industry and an investor. And now, I'm just looking to help build out the community, build out the Web3 community. And I'm here. I'm ready to make waves, man. I'm ready to get some controversy started, get things spicy up here.
I love it, man. I cannot wait for those takes. I'm not going to blow up anybody's spot up here, mine or yours, but it was interesting that we had our call yesterday prior to this show, and we go back farther than we think. And I'll just leave it there. I'll just leave it there. But before we get to back to Hudah and what he's seeing in the industry, or I'm sorry, DP and what he's seeing in the industry, let's go around this box and get to our other co-host. Hudah, how are you doing, sir? Nice hair. Hairdo's looking fine today.
Yeah, sir. Yeah, I forgot I was trying to not do a hat at all this year, and I fucked that up already. So here we are. How you guys doing though? Like, man, everything is spicy. Everything is interesting. And when I say everything, it feels like literally everything. Like the Pudgy Penguins story is awesome. I do love, we talked about this briefly when I was on Spaces with you guys a bit ago. Like, it is good to see competition. And I do want Bored Apes to succeed. I really do. Like, I'm really rooting for everyone here. And I mean it. But I love seeing the Pudgy Penguins come up and put the heat on them a little bit. And I think it's great for us as a whole. At the same time, man, like I'm looking at a bid on a CryptoPunk right now for over $2 million. It's that kind of thing. It's the Pudgies moving. It's bids like that have me really feeling like we're not back yet. Like, things are great, but we're not back. But we're getting so much closer, guys. It's really awesome out there.
Yeah, I love it. I do want to bring up the market real quick because Biggie Poppins spoke this into existence. So Biggie, thank you for tanking the market with your prediction yesterday. We are falling a little bit. And yeah, I appreciate that. Thanks. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing fantastic, man. I'm pumped to welcome Dayton, man. I'm pumped that he's here too. Like, and to Hudah's point, man, it's true, right? Like a couple of months ago, we were all sitting around being like, "What are you up to?" Well, we're just looking at charts and whatever launched next. Now it's like I'm farming this. I'm spinning up these nodes, doing like testnet stuff. I'm focusing on this new protocol. It's awesome to see, man. It's like really cool.
Yeah, a lot happening. We're going to get caught up on everything you're getting into. Berachain and a couple others. It feels like it's popping up new every day. Let me go over to my trusty co-founder here of Web3. Excited to have Gifted here. You just got off GM Web3. Gif, you bully pretty much everybody about their backgrounds here on the show. How do you feel about both DP and now Biggie with his upgrade?
I got to tell you, it feels good, man. Feels good to see some color back there. But I want to also point something out. People that want to FUD the show, there's not much they can really latch onto, except that we usually are in the standard NFT Live DGen Bro uniform, which is, of course, a hat and a hoodie. And people think we don't have versatility. They think that we don't have variety or diversity on the show. We've got 3 people on stage who are not wearing a hat today. What are you going to say to that? I'm just saying the versatility that we're showing today is amazing.
Speaking of versatility, no, I'm just kidding.
I'm famous. Look, let's give Q his
No.
No, that post yesterday went viral, and he's the first Dob famous niche micro internet celebrity, basically.
That is the title. Thank you, sir.
And I want you to know I came this close to like hunting down a bunch of different weird clothes so that I could dress like one of my Dobs today. But then I said, that's like, I don't want to ride your coattails that hard, you know, but I do think at some point next week, I may try and dress up as one of my Dobs because you inspired that.
We're apparently inspiring everybody. So I know we're in our local news bit here and just getting our introductions, but I'll stay here for a little bit because we're inspiring everybody. Literally now everybody up here has a Dob.
Oh man, I had to go out and do it, man. Listen, I said I wanted to stand in solidarity with you all. So somebody, you know, I commented, I put up a tweet and said I bought a Dob. Somebody said peer pressure. I had to correct them, man. The solidarity, you know, I can't be left out the game.
I was literally trying to think if I have a green jacket last night to dress like my green jacket Dob, and I don't think I have a green jacket, unfortunately. But yes, we're starting the green puffer jacket Yeti sub DAO. That's going to be coming soon, so watch out on the Web3 X profile for that announcement.
All right, so Say is going to be part of this update. Let me briefly go through a little bit of the dashboard. We do have some Nakamigos updates. Bored Ape Yacht Club is getting back to the old vibes, and we'll go through that as well as Pudgy Penguins. I got Blast having their updated kind of ecosystem overview, what you call it. Like a lot of people are building on that protocol right now, and we want to kind of give you those details. We've got DYM, we've got Alt Layer, we've got Jupe, all of these airdrops upcoming, some things happening over on Ordinals. I mean, I feel exhausted almost, you know, talking about this stuff. And also CryptoSlam is doing some cool stuff as well. And Trader Joe's potentially launching the next hardware phone into Web3. So if you're still here after all that, we're going to get into a ton of that plus more. Gift that hit him with the disclaimer, sir.
Right. I mean, it's key. It's important. It's one of the first things that we have to remind everybody of. And yes, if you're not new here, it can be redundant. You're like, okay, come on, we know NFA, blah, blah, blah. But look, it's for your safety and ours that we must always remind everybody out there, whether you're here with us live, shout out to y'all fucking goats, or if you're catching us later on the recording, just know we're not financial advisors, no matter what anybody would say. A lot of people out there quoting us, you know, I said early adopters yesterday, and people run with shit all the time. That's why you got to be careful and remind everybody, no matter what, do your own research. We're not financial advisors.
All right. Thank you, sir. We are going to get into NFT live now, basically. I've got 4 other fantastic co-hosts. They're getting into the industry a bunch. I really don't have a starting point for this. So I'm just going to open this up and kind of have an open combo. Anybody want to jump in here with what they're seeing or a topic that they want to hit as we roll into the episode? What are you guys looking at in the industry right now that you think is interesting?
I love the phone combo. Well, because it gets to like the fact that meme coins are becoming a real asset class, and that literally meme coins might be responsible for making Web3 hardware viable. That's a crazy. I wouldn't have, that wasn't on my fucking Web3 bingo cards. Like I didn't see that happening, and I love to see it. I think it's amazing. This could be a complete troll. Let's be 100,000% transparent here. Trader Joe might just have a brilliant troll here. However, as you were pointing out, Nifty Q, they're actually chain agnostic, or they're multi-chain.
Ooh.
Is it a troll?
Yeah.
Okay, there we go. We got clarity.
Wait, this is not real.
It's not real.
What? All right.
Oh,
well,
wait, it's ... yet.
Yes.
Man, I'm so glad we're not getting into the phone wars. I'm so happy. I'm so happy.
Yeah.
Also, Joan is just, I don't know about the branding around that phone. The Joan.
Well, that's what tips it like over the edge of being a joke. But like you said, Q, if anybody might do it, you know, a DEX like them on AVAX, who's also multi-chain, it could, you know, we also know AVAX is leaning into the meme coin as an asset class. So I don't know, what's the point? The point is, I just like that we're now seeing some real life and viability in the Web3 hardware space because of what Bonk and Saga Phone have done. That's it. I just think it's cool.
So I got to ask, with the Saga Phone, do you actually mine Bonk on the phone? Like, are you using the phone like for its processing power, and you're actually processing blocks like transactions? Are you mining coin that way? And if not, is that something we think will actually happen with other mobile devices? Because to me, that would make sense.
I think a lot of people are anticipating that Web3 hardware devices could be used as nodes. I don't know the specs of the Saga Phone enough to know exactly how it's being used like that. The one thing that I do know about it is that they were smart enough to package it with a token that's sold down to the device that they're using to tap you into a bunch of different ecosystem utilities and valuable opportunities. But yeah, why couldn't these hardware devices at some point, when the compute gets powerful enough and the blockchains get scalable enough, et cetera, why could they not be used as nodes? And then think about how that reinforces this true decentralization. When you've got hundreds of thousands or millions of users around the world that are all operating as mobile nodes, I mean, how do you take that down?
Yeah,
You know,
it looks like
I'm sure there's still ways, but
it looks like people are using Helium to potentially get on board with farming or, you know, quote unquote mining Solana here via their Saga Phone. Now, I will say I don't like, products don't work on proof of work anymore, right? Like, we don't see the same type of thing where people are setting up huge farms on Bitcoin or I'm sorry, on NVIDIA applications and things like this, or hardware. Proof of stake works in a lot of different ways. So that I don't know exactly if it's a one for one, hey, we're using, you know, the Solana Phone hardware, but they're definitely using Helium. So a little bit over my skis here with that because I don't own one, but it's interesting.
Yeah, Helium is peaking up a bit. Do you remember it, Dayton, from last cycle where you can get like a Helium miner and like
I do, and I was it's funny you say that because that's what was going through my head when we were talking about phones. Because I'm like, man, forget a phone, release something else. Like, you can either give me like a watch, or, you know, or even a home miner or something like that. Like, I let Solana have their phone, let them do that, and, you know, attack another medium.
All right. I appreciate us getting to the bottom of it, at least there. Damn, it's like playing Tetris with all the boxes up here. I will get into a couple different pieces here as we get along. Hudah, let's bring up the CryptoSlam piece here. So I'm actually in the Zeely app here. This is important, folks. So I'm going to say what I can just from a user perspective. I've gone in. I believe I'm like 15th or 16th on the leaderboard here. Shout out to Cats Fanatic, who is absolutely just dusting the competition here.
Holy shit.
So I'm 13 or 12. Wait a minute.
Damn.
Hold up.
You got it?
Yeah,
DP's
I'm
at
12. Yeah.
So there's Quest here. If you go to the general, you sign up with your, I believe you can do it with Discord. I think you can do it with your email, all that stuff. Connect all of your social accounts, and then you can start earning points. The daily trivia questions are pretty dope. We might be able to do those live on stream tomorrow. Let me see if I can time that up here so we could go through them, because there's some really cool questions. I mean, it tests you a little bit here. So yeah, earn CryptoSlam points here on Zeely. I'll actually drop my I need an invite point, actually, so I might drop that. Fellas, drop me your URLs or your referral links, and I can get those out to the folks out there.
And just so you know, you can do those trivia daily, and it's the same questions right now, but I'll probably refresh them tomorrow. I got to see when this first sprint goes through, but I want to refresh them. Reason being, I want people who started this early to be accumulating more points, right? So just it's a way to kind of keep you guys ahead who saw it early and jumped in early. As far as what it's for, I can't say a damn thing. So I'll let people speculate away and you know, run with it, and whatever you're thinking may just be right.
it gets you allow listed for the mullet DAO.
Yes. Can we do that one day? That'd be cool.
Is there? I'm trying to think of like I don't want to get Hudah in trouble. So any conversations I want to have around a potential anything or potential utilities, maybe we could just have that another day when it's closer. But
I mean,
I think
you can speculate out loud. I don't care. I don't care at all. There's just I can't answer.
Gift, speak to me about you've been talking about products in crypto that actually, offer a service, right? It's not just hey, an NFT collection that's offering vibes and we love those, but CryptoSlam is probably one of the most visited sites in the industry, and to have their own kind of thing that they can point to as a, something that the community can rally around, something where there's actual, potential value, all that stuff, I think is pretty cool. The fact that they already have the one of the most trafficked websites in Web3.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how much I have to say on it other than everybody. I think most people understand the concept of like picks and shovels. The most of the people who chased the California gold rush didn't become millionaires or wealthy, but the people who were selling the picks and the shovels did, right? And so that's kind of where that originates from. What's the point? Or what does that mean? It's basically saying that like who's actually providing the tools. Like most degens that are going to be speculating in this bull run are not going to become millionaires. There's going to be lots that do, but the people that are providing the tools, the treasure maps, the picks, the shovels, those are probably going to be pretty profitable, or they're at least going to be the nexus. What's the plural of nexus? Somebody
Nexi.
let me know.
Right,
Is it Nexi?
right. Like
They're going to be the Nexi. I thought it was Nexuses, but yeah, you're probably right. Let's go with Nexi, because this guy with a
sounds cool as
mullet
shit.
looks fucking smart and it sounds cool. So they're going to be the Nexi of a lot of that value that's being transacted and transferred, right? So that's it. The point is, what are you betting on to be the picks and the shovels of this next cycle? I picked up a Freaks by Subber last night as an example of like how I'm going at this. I think Subber is going to be a nexus of a lot of that value just because of how they're positioned. CryptoSlam could absolutely be one of those. They've proven themselves to be an amazing resource through thick and thin. So that's why, getting back to Zeely, this could be an opportunity. Wink, wink, nod, nod. I don't know what the fuck we can or can't say, so I'm not going to say anything else there. But what else are going to be those tools or those hubs for everybody, where everybody's going to be going for the new drops, the new information, the new airdrops, the new alpha? Obviously, Web3 Network is going to be one of those. So if you haven't subscribed, stay tuned for what we're cooking up.
Wow,
Your eyes.
I did not actually expect that. All right, let's continue on. Hudah, while we're on CryptoSlam right now, we can jump into some market overviews here. We can jump into Blur and some other kind of metrics based looks at the industry. What are y'all's thoughts right now on anything that we're seeing? I'll start with Hudah, but obviously a bunch of y'all up here. What are we seeing in the market?
Well, so I mean, the obvious talking points. It's of course Pudgy Penguins and Crypto Undeads, who I think have a big day ahead of them today. But I swear, not that most people care, but Dokio, the fact that now we're going on, it feels like months of them being in the top 5, and still nobody's talking about them. There's something really, really special going on in that ecosystem. Maybe it's because there's not a lot of like premium PFPs or assets over in that ecosystem yet, but man, I've just not seen someone perform so consistently as that collection is done. So
Hudah, let's be clear. Nobody is talking about them except for us. We've been talking about them now for the last 2 weeks because we're the ones zigging when everybody else zags. There's a bunch of other nonsense creators who just hype the same hype bullshit, and we're trying to show you where the puck is going instead of where it already is.
You hear Pudgy Penguins everywhere, of course, like you should, but you're right. Nobody's talking about SEI. Nobody's talking about Dokio on Avalanche, and of course their steady collection that minted and did fantastically last week. And those things have to be talked about. We learned in the past few months here that it's a multi-chain future, and just how big that multi-chain future is going to be. People have to start talking about it. So as long as they don't, we will, right?
Yeah, and I think that's kind of like the premise of this whole show, right? Is searching for the hidden treasure and talking about, because that's the great thing. You want to talk about what's not being talked about, because there's so much happening, bro. Like it's hard to keep up with it, even when it comes to Dokio. Like you'll know that it's starting to get overhyped when you start seeing people write threads about it on Twitter, on X. Excuse me, I was about to say Twitter, but yeah, when you start seeing the threads come out then that's when you know, like, okay, it's mainstream now. But with it being in the top 5, it goes to show you how many people actually pay attention to what's trending as far as like the metrics as well. Like doing something as simple as going to CryptoSlam and looking at the metrics and seeing what's popping right now, that's still like big brain activity, as obvious as it is.
Yeah,
Dude,
we'll
DP,
yeah.
It's such a good point. Who is getting their NFT info from those influencers, and who's getting it from the right source, and who's looking for themselves? And just by doing that, getting it from the right source and looking at the numbers yourselves, you get that much further ahead of everybody else you're competing with. And it is PvP out there. You are competing with other traders.
We've been talking about Shrapnel for a long time. That's my only real exposure other than Trader Joe and that project on Avalanche. Like, I don't have any other exposure, and I'm not interacting on that chain much. Do you guys have any other things you're looking at other than Dokio when it comes to Avalanche?
I'm the exact same. There is an upcoming project that it's at least on my radar, right? Because I see people talking about it. Not minted yet, but I'm with you. So I mean, it's almost the perfect time that we all start getting in together.
The one thing that I keep bringing up that apparently but I think Biggie's on there, but it's 0-1. I still love 0-1. I don't know yet how they're going to evolve that. I think they need to at some point launch a legit marketplace or find out how to integrate that further. But 0-1 has been one of my favorite platforms over the last few months. That's on Avalanche, and they did a cool little end of year recap. They did like their own little Spotify recap over there. So yeah, other than that, there's not that much in Shrapnel, like you said, that I'm interested in.
Hey, Draco's here. Good shit. Good to see you, man.
Yeah, let's hit the chat really quick. So Draco's saying Trader Joe is undervalued. I agree. We just talked about picks and shovels. Exchanges or even DEXs are ones that play out really well. I mean, if you're looking on the centralized exchange front, Binance, you could point to in 2017 was absolutely one of the biggest winners, is because they made money on people trading, and then they offered that value back to their holders and different things like that. So yes, Trader Joe, QuickSwap was an early one on Polygon. So looking at these early infra plays is something, not financial advice you should potentially do. Draco's also over there on X. So if you're watching on X, we appreciate y'all. If you're in here on YouTube, either live or afterwards, you guys know how much y'all support means to us. Leave a like if you appreciate these big co-hosts up here showing their big brain plays. We got Buffalo.
Play for a quick thing like with Joe. There's a quick play. Who was it? DP, you might remember. Was it Mantle or one of these up and coming ZK protocols? I think you can bridge your Joe over to that chain and stake it and start generating whatever that token is. I'll look it up and find it.
I think it might be Mantle, but I want to. Yeah, we should look it up to be sure. But I think it is.
Yo, we do have a lit chat. We do have a lit chat right now. Buffalo out there saying cheap Say right now. I'm guessing Say got nuked with the downturn in the market right now. So might be a good time to pick some up if you're liking what we're seeing. Also, Buff was saying Saytopia just free minted and has a floor price of 350 Say.
Yeah, low supply on that one, 555.
Okay. That's pretty fucking wild to see that. That means it's already one of the most, one of the highest floors in the whole Say NFT ecosystem right now. Katz is out there, Jax is out there. Shout out to you all. Easy's here, so it's a good day whenever Easy and Crypto comes through the show. So yeah, shout out to these amazing people. Just looking for cool comments. Yeah. I think Knox was first, by the way, with the OVOT. Shout out to you.
All right, real quick, we did have an A10-7. Is this from you, Biggie?
Yeah.
Is this on AVAX?
Yeah, this is another project that it's been brought up several times. It's a gaming / AI project that will be launching at some time. Like between the first half, I think it is. They're gonna have a token launch on GameSwap for it. If you guys have GameStop tokens and you're staking, you're going to have an allocation to it. But there's also a way to get an allocation for it via their what do you call it? Not PFPs, their avatar mints, which I think are still available, or you can buy on secondary relatively cheap. Like that's really that and Avalanche are the only exposures I have to AVAX, and a lot of worthless like JPEGs from last season, which are going nowhere.
All right, a lot of love, obviously, for Say here. They've been on a tear. A lot of Dobs here in chat as well. So you big Dob shout out there. I'm gonna put Big E Poppins up on stage once more. We're gonna be jumping around to these different chains, and it's gonna be Berachain. There's an interesting piece to this because there's an NFT multiplier to what people are doing on Berachain as well. So I'm gonna try to bring that up. I don't know the exact name of the collection. But I can go into that. But yeah, Biggie, is there any updates here on Berachain and what's happening on over there?
Man, just not too long ago, shout out DP that we have right here. He made me aware that you can now do some smart contract deployments, like on it to hopefully increase your chances of getting a bigger airdrop. But I think DP can tell you a little more info on it. It was pretty simple. It was like a 10-minute process. It was fun.
Yeah, so the thread is basically simple. It takes you to a site called Third Web, which is a site where a lot of developers use it to launch smart contracts for. It's pretty much smart contracts for dummies. You go in, you click around a little bit, and then you just launch a smart contract. But the reason that it's important to do that is because developers get a bigger airdrop in a lot of these projects. And I think the minimum requirement for being considered a developer is like launching a smart contract on some of these protocols.
That's a big brain play.
Yep.
I just started fucking around with Third Web and learning about it because I'm looking for places where you can deploy on base, and you can launch smart contracts on base using Third Web. Also, by the way, Nifty Kit has already implemented base too, which we love Nifty Kit. Very, very easy smart contract deployment platform deployer, I guess.
DP, you seem to have a lot of information here, or at least a good amount on Berachain. Do you know the NFT collection that Berachain that's pumping on the?
Is it still the bears? I know they had those expensive bears, man.
It was. Yeah, I just don't know the name.
I think they call it. I think it's called the bears. I don't remember it because I saw it was so damn expensive. I moonwalked right out of that. I was like, I'm good.
All right, I'll try to find it here and maybe bring it up.
And here's the post that I was telling you about for Mo. Yeah, it is on Mantle. So basically, if you guys are staking Joe on Trader Joe, you're able to, and if you're willing to take the risk, of course, you can bridge over to Mantle, and you'll get MO, Merchant Mo, and stake it, and you'll be able to, get rewards over there as well, which I thought was pretty nifty.
I'm surprised you couldn't remember the name of Mo, given that you're situated right now sitting at Mo's tavern there.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a good call.
What? So this is a Trader Joe on Mantle. Is that what I'm seeing?
That's right. So Trader Joe is going to be launching on Mantle, not to be confused with Manta.
Oh my God.
And yeah, please don't conflate the two. But yeah, so they're launching on Mantle, and this is one of their incentives, right, that they're doing. But yeah, Mantle is one of those others that let's see how it performs. You're also able to, very much like Manta and Eigenlayer and all these other stake, bridge over your ETH, which really, I think it's funny. They call it meth because it's METH, but it's not that meth, folks. So that'd be fucking.
That's actually probably the most accurate representation of what you need to be working in this space.
Seriously.
All right, so here's Merchant Mo. I have not got on to Mantle. I'll add that to my long running to-do list here. DP also is getting us a link. Man, there's so much activity happening in the industry right now. It's absolutely ridiculous. But yeah, here is the Berachain NFTs.
Picking them up? Check up on activity, see if they're.
Oh, activity is wild. Yeah. The volume increased along with the testnet launch, as you can see. So if you were buying these back in, back in summer, you were getting them for like sub 1 ETH. And then now OpenSea decided to crap out on me, but it looks like the floor price is 3.5.
This is pure speculation, right, DP? Because I'm very interested to see what type of reward or airdrop they would be receiving, say, versus node operators, right? Right?
It'll probably
Right?
be along the same lines, right? Because I ain't no way excuse my language, ain't no way in hell I'm gonna operate a node for like a month using up all my GPUs, and somebody that's holding an NFT gets more of an airdrop than me. I mean, it could happen, but I wouldn't be happy about it.
Mm-hmm. And we're seeing that right now, right? With Manta, like some people are not very happy with their Manta rewards. It's being debated at the currently whether it's because you didn't, bridge and stake your ETH early enough, or if it's that the tokenomics, the distributions aren't, in line. But it's one of the things we contend with.
Yeah, it's a bit of both, and and the reason I'm shaking my head is because I'm one of the people, and that was actually a Mantle. But I managed to get all of the NFTs and kind of combine them, because there are like 6 NFTs that you could get on New Paradigm, and if you combine them, it gives you like this modular L2 whatever NFT, and it's supposed to grant you like access to some special treasure or whatever. But right now the site has been suffering. The site has been suffering some kind of outage, some kind of bug, where now when you go on to try to claim your rewards, your NFTs aren't even popping up. It's showing that you don't own it. So they're trying to fix that. And then people are pissed off at the founder because they're saying that the founder kept a lot of tokens, and it's a mess, man. It's a mess. It's classic example, man, of getting to the finish line, building up all this hype, which we see in Web3 all the time, build up all this hype, get to the finish line, just to F everything up.
I want to have a broader question and throw it out to the group. We are covering so many different chains at this point, and yet I don't think the influx of folks into the industry is happening at the same rate. What happens here? Like, simple as that.
I wish somebody knew, because we've talked about this over and over. Like, what is it that brings people in, right? And I don't see it still. I don't see it.
I mean, these are just incentives right now, right? Like to bring builders over, to bring people that are willing to support the network, whether it's running a node or building a dApp there. That's all it is. To assume that they're all gonna survive is infantile, in my opinion. But I think it's very much worth spreading. Like if you have a lot of time or budget, to seek some of these out, because you will have those outliers like Celestia, right? That truly do reward their contributors, right? How much did they get airdropped? Like node operators, I think it was 80K. Stakers were somewhere between 5 to 10K. And now, if you staked that TIA, that Celestia token, you're getting airdropped, a whole bunch of other stuff that's coming down the pipe. So, for all the misses that you will get, because you will get misses, you'll also get like some that like really do pop off. Now, going down the line, it's going to be on you to monitor, whether it's GitHub commits or what projects or communities are building on there, right? Like a great example that we can point to is something like SEI, where people have really embraced that chain right now and are actually going over there and building, right? Whether it's NFT projects or other, plays like for DeFi, that's kind of what you want to see.
The only thing that worries me about SEI, and I love SEI, and I love what they're doing and the traction that they're getting. The only thing that worries me is how difficult it is to bridge over there starting off. Like a lot. Well, it's not as difficult now because Rocket Exchange and a few other, like the bridge that you showed yesterday, Biggie, a few others have adopted SEI and have made it easy to bridge your assets over. But even people that aren't familiar with bridges don't know to go to these.
You can just use Coinbase. It's not that hard. But
yeah, that too, but it's just that added layer of having to get over to the chain. So me personally, what I would love to see, I would love to see like a community project where we're building like some kind of roll up or some kind of and I know it's probably a pipe dream, but to build some kind of consolidation layer where you can consolidate all of these chains, at least on the front end, right? For the user.
That's what Near is
all
doing.
Of these chains and all of these wallets into just one application where I could just use it. Because right now it's just a lot of jumping around.
I agree with you, DP, and there are projects, to highlight something like Near that is working precisely on that, and they call it chain abstraction. The way the founder, highlights it is basically saying, imagine you have a self-custodied Coinbase account, and you're able to transact with all of these chains without necessarily having to bridge or do anything, right? That can be a real home run, right? And I love that about these different projects, right? Like they're all taking different approaches to scaling and providing interoperability, right? And may the best chain win. It's on us to kind of stay abreast of these things and tinker with them to see if they are actually feasible.
Yo, shout out to Draco too, because I saw that he, said too many chains, not enough liquidity and time.
He hit that question right on the head. That is basically what I'm asking. What happens in an environment where we have 1,500 chains and 150 chains, and that liquidity doesn't get there's no extra liquidity happening, in being added to the industry right now, along with users. It's just what happens.
I think that's one of the that's one of the arguments in favor of, say, something like Bitcoin L2s, right? Where you're already banking on the fact that the liquidity is already there. You're just trying to liberate it or make it a lot more liquid and mobile, right? When it comes to these other chains, I think it's a taller order. But again, when you see all these EVM chains pop up, everybody has an EVM equivalent in their chain. The reason is that's the main reason. It's like you want to stay close to where the liquidity is. And if it ain't Bitcoin, it sure as shit is Ethereum. So I don't know. Like, I think the only way you're really going to have people want to bridge over and partake, like I love it when we see something like Friendtech pop up, right? Because you really saw, aside from the speculation, you really saw people bridge over, looking to embrace a possibly new paradigm in social finance, right?
To me, this is called the halo effect. And I only use it as a personal anecdote, but the reason that I bought an Xbox was that because I wanted to play Halo. There was an application on that console that I wanted to access, and it got me to actually buy it. These protocols need to have a halo. They need to have one thing. That's you brought up Friendtech. It is literally the reason why I downloaded I guess it's an EVM. So it's a reason I added the RPC to my MetaMask and started to bridge stuff over. What is that on Berachain? What is that on all? They're going to need to have something.
Agreed. I think in that regard, what Draco was saying is spot on. I would just add that we also need builders, right? Like, we need people that are actually, what I see a lot right now is, like flash in the pan projects. You see a lot of those popping out, right? Like the ultimate expression of this is meme coins, but you see it expressed in NFT projects as well. And even in so-called serious DeFi products that promise the moon, but really you see, time pass by and nothing gets shipped, and again, we need more serious builders in the space that are not looking for quick liquidity to extract, right? And yeah, that is a problem to be solved. I agree. The two, right? The users and the DApp.
A lot of great comments coming through. I want to get to those DP quickly, and then
real quick. But I was just gonna say that's kind of like, it kind of plays into what EigenLayer is doing with restaking, right? And for those that don't understand, like, restaking allows smaller validators and smaller chains to get access to some of that liquidity that's flowing through ETH to secure the network. And there may have to be a hybrid model where Web3 is about working together anyway. There may have to be a hybrid model where I know these companies are in competition with each other, but for the good of the entire industry, you may have to start looking into ways to kind of like share liquidity or share resources for projects that are really building. And so I say that, and we can just move on.
No, it's a great way to end it. I'm going to pull us into something way more serious. Gifted going to have a fucking awesome time with this. Hudah, take it away, dude.
Do you got it up on your screen? Yes, you do. Yeah, this is pretty fucking crazy, man. So the Trump digital collectible cards mugshot editions, You buy 100 of them. Is that right? You buy 100, you get a new digital collectible over on Bitcoin. I don't know who's running the show over there, but those guys get it.
Bro,
They
there's
fucking
more
get it.
utility for these Trump cards than 99% of projects in the space. Still, they keep hammering away at this fucking project as much as we hate on it.
I would
like
hire
the
that team to run
Jawa-
my project.
Look, you're not wrong on all of that. And I think I was the first one here who called Trump cards as an obvious play if you have no conscience or soul. But I like Jawa quoting Kane Mayfield in saying that how you make your bag does matter. And that's why
I just don't agree with that. It's just like-
you don't think it matters how you make your bag?
I mean,
you disagree
short
with
of
Kane
like
Mayfield?
buying, yeah, on this subject, I think Kane often finds himself in an industry that it is very different than I don't know. Kane
It's
tries to
absolutely
impart his-
hilarious after the combo that you and I had with Buffalo the other night. That you're gonna sit here and boldface tell me that you don't think it matters how you make your bag.
I think there's a limit to what you're trying to say, but now we're getting into kind of that philosophical debate that we always have and we never agree on. So I think Kane Mayfield is trying to impart a lot of things, and he's part of a cohort of a group of individuals that wants this space to be a way that it isn't. And they all it's the same. It is a lot of the same speech, and it's trying to, bro. I see Kane's a lot of people that are talking about what Kane's talking about got in after I got in, and they're talking about how now people are trying to change their space. In a way, that cohort is changing the space that I came into the industry with. So it just doesn't make any sense to me.
All Kane and I am talking about is personal value systems. I have a personal value system that despite believing that sometimes I want to make money even over being right or wrong.
Didn't you buy Trump cards?
No, fuck no.
I can't something. What did you? Oh, you traded on Blur
close.
after shitting on them for a full year.
Not a
And
full,
you didn't pay royalties.
Not a full year, and also I can hold two ideas at once, which is why I'm saying I was the first one. I was the first one that called that Trump cards was an obvious play, and I'm just pointing out that my own value system says I can't actually participate in supporting. I can't support that ecosystem and what it represents or who it supports and what it supports. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying that other people don't have value systems that allow them to participate and look beyond, or that money over everything
Seriously,
isn't also a value system.
I hear this, and the thing that just goes through my mind is like, why hasn't somebody like just taken advantage of them and like trolled the living shit out of them and like launched like some type of MAGA project? Because they'll fucking ape in like morons, and then just rug them and donate all the money to like immigration reform or something like that, just to stop them from doing stupid shit, right? Because the biggest rubber of them all is that motherfucker. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. That's an easy play, right? Like there's certain like I think categories of customers, people, whatever, that are very easy to get to buy whatever it is you put, like certain catchphrase. I'm thinking of like just any religious group, like I don't care, Christian, Jewish, fucking Muslim, whatever. Put a fucking slogan, make a t-shirt, they'll fucking buy it. Same with these assholes, like whatever. Yeah, let's move on.
Who did you have any last thoughts here on the bomb, the grenade that you threw in this room?
Yeah, wasn't expecting that. Oh, I mean, in a way,
you weren't
kind of.
expecting that. Yeah.
I'm naive. I just think no comment.
Yeah. At the end of the day, I think Trump also, as much as I wish it came natively through our ecosystem, and I do have those thoughts and want this to be something that builders here do. Trump's done more for NFTs in a way of getting it out into the world and people understanding what it is and all this different stuff that we talk about all the time. He's done as much as almost probably anybody.
It's
sucks
Draco's
to
take
say.
right in the chat. I mean, that to me is kind of it.
Yeah.
And again, I can agree with all, like, the fact that you pointed out that their team knows what the fuck they're doing. Agree. The fact that like Trump, especially during the bear market, got more attention and got the technology out to probably a lot more people than anything else. I agree. Like all that's true, and I still can't get myself to buy in, despite the fact that there's going to be a lot of people that make money on this shit, and I know that, and I'm okay passing on this particular play.
There's plenty other ways, absolutely.
Yeah, I don't think any of us own Trump NFTs up here.
Nah, but I mean, it is what it is, man. One thing about it, regardless of how we may feel about him personally or politically or whatever, man, the guy knows how to mobilize his fan base, and I mean, it is an obvious play for those that just don't care. But hey, where
in
the money
general,
is.
Well, like guys, in general, isn't the blockchain crypto space very right leaning? That's always been my perception of it. That's like what I've felt.
I think it's more libertarian, and a lot of libertarians would lean right before they would lean left, and so I think there's something to that. But anyway, Dwayne's out here saying stop with the politics. Here's the interesting thing, man, is that like, we're not even really trying to talk about politics. We're just trying to talk about NFTs and blockchain and what's happening. And unfortunately, in the culture that we live in and in an election cycle, everything's going to be somewhat political. Like money's political.
It's
like,
interesting to me. The thing that I can't get behind, bro, is that everybody, whichever cycle they got in, and it falls to me too. I think that site, that the crypto industry is what it was in that cycle. And everyone tries to impart what they think this industry should be, and nobody gives a fuck. Like, I'm sorry. Like, it is, the market is what it is. Like, I actually get physically tired hearing about the industry should be this way. It hurts me. This is not what we're here for.
Nakamigos crypto trading cards is one of the best examples of this as well. Besides, and maybe that's a good relevant segue into another headline. Since we're talking about Trump cards, we can talk about Nakamigos cards. Talk about something that probably shouldn't fucking exist or have the value and the floor price that it does. But it doesn't matter what should or shouldn't be, exactly like he was saying, because clearly there is a market for low effort AI collectibles, and Nakamigos crypto trading cards just showed this.
And that's just a trade-off for a quote unquote decentralized industry. That's just what you're gonna get. Go ahead, Biggie, my bad.
No. I'm sorry. I had not seen these fucking trading cards.
And so people immediately went on DALL-E and they were able to recreate these basically in like 5 minutes just to show that how low effort they are, right? And so we know what they are. They're low effort AI collectibles, and yet they're trading at like a $700, $800 price tag right now. There's already 140 ETH traded on secondary or something, and look, I'm not going to sit here and say it should or shouldn't, because again, I think that's a great point that like, it's not like the market's going to do what it does. This is proving out that there's a market for this. But me as someone who, when you do buy, when you put your money somewhere, it is a vote. I'm not voting for Nakamigos at this point. I put a lot of time and effort voting for them, thinking that they were doing something that I could get behind, and the way that they've handled cloaks and this, it makes me much less interested. And that's my take as a longtime Naka believer.
Welcome to the club. Let's do this. We're all Naka haters now. All right. I want to move us into the Blast. We had a lot of great combos, I think, on GM Web 3 here about what's going on with Blast, whether it's going to be successful. They have 100K users, quote unquote. I don't think can we hop into any of these dApps? That was my first question, just from a user perspective. Can we do the same thing that we're doing on Berachain and a couple others? I don't know if you guys
have a Discord if you're willing to jump into them.
I am willing. I'm willing. But you can see OG NFT collection building on Blast, NFT projects building on Blast. There's probably some NFTs, leverage airdrop farming on Blast. Like, there's stuff happening. They've got some developers. A lot of this is chasing some of the airdrop in event. I forgot what they ended up calling it, but a Blast event.
This, right, Q? You need to have builders in your chain to justify its existence. And so I think it's the right approach. What they're trying to do remains to be seen if it's going to be, if they're going to catch a bid, right? If people are going to want to keep that liquidity there and use it up. I do see, I don't know, just a lot of the same. How do you feel about it, DP? I'm curious.
Goody, more pixelated punk style art, Blastopians.
Yeah.
Man, listen, I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm not. I'm just be real. I'm not bullish on it. I do think because again, to Q's point, it's another effort. We're fragmenting ourselves again for people. And the thing. So here's the thing. Here's my thing. They're coming into the space and they have builders that are building, but everything that we just saw is things that everybody's building on every other chain. It's the same stuff over and over and over again.
Great point.
Like, give us something different.
Blast for me. All right.
Yeah, here's the Blast Big Bang competition I was talking about. They're basically trying to incentivize builders here with a large amount of cash, potentially Blast tokens, all that stuff. Here's the thing. They do have $1.3 billion locked up in the protocol before it even has launched on mainnet. I can bring the stats up on some other live chains and see where that puts them, but that's a huge amount of liquidity just waiting to do things with here once the unlock happens.
And but what are they going to do with it, Q? Is it going to be, a useful application of that liquidity? Or are we going to see a, catastrophic dumping fest, right? Where everybody's going towards the exits. I mean, everybody knows about this protocol. That's the thing. Like, with great liquidity comes great responsibility.
And you know what? I will say that it'll be a great dumping, and I can support that because I will be one of the people dumping. And I remember I was talking to Biggie the other day, and I was telling him, man, that honestly, when these airdrops happen, I'm going to be looking to be one of the first people to dump a lot of the tokens that I get from some of these other arbitrary projects. And truth be told, I'm going to stable up. I think I'm going to go into stables for a little while just to see what happens, because I agree with Biggie again, where I do think we still going to see a nice little pullback before the real run starts, especially before the halving event comes in April. So I think that to me personally, I think the smart play would be to, like, the free liquidity that you do get, I'll probably stable it up for about a month just to see what happens, and then try to buy stuff at the bottom.
Sage advice, man. I agree with that wholeheartedly.
Man, this is a top fucking 5 protocol out the box. You can see here TVL. If I search by TVL, Solana has 1.4. Optimism has 800 million. Polygon has 800 million, almost 900 million. Go ahead, Gif.
Well, I was also going to say, like, where's Jupe going to be in here too? They're expecting $2 billion launch in terms of market cap. That's going to be up there somewhere, not in that same range quite, but yeah, man, Blast is literally going to blast off and be top 10. I know it's cringe, but like, it's whatever. Low hanging punnery. When it launches, though, it's going to be like immediately top 10, top 15, maybe top 20, but I think it's going to be probably top 10.
Can I present a theory real quick, right? Something that just popped into my mind as I'm thinking. So we all saw what happened throughout this last bear market, and we saw like a lot of VCs, a lot of VC funds take a lot of big hits when it came to a lot of these projects, especially with the fallout of FTX and all of that. Could we say that, with some of those platforms being in the top 5 already, with two, being valued at $2 billion or whatever, could we say a lot of that money is VC money, and they'll be looking to kind of like gain X's on their capital when these protocols launch, depending on whatever vesting period they have. And if they have like a short vesting period, a lot of them would be looking to pull out a lot of that liquidity from those platforms, especially if they don't see a lot of because the thing is, we see the metrics as they present them to us, but they get to see the back end of what's really going on. So like when you say, a lot of that, sometimes the bot accounts and stuff like that, they get to see all of that information. Mm-hmm. And could we say that, because VCs get FOMO too, and they understand like bull and bear cycles. So could it be a possibility that they may be looking to kind of like, put the VC fund back in good standing and use it as a flip?
Yes, I mean,
I think like so much of it comes down to the execution of the launch at the end of the day. And here's if we're talking about Blast, which I think we're still talking about Blast, right?
Well, I did want to bring up Quantum's point. He's bringing up Eigenlayer, which is probably more akin to these staking protocols, which I don't think are in that same kind of category as these other chains, right? Because you see Lido has 23 bill locked up in it. Maker Finance, which is one of the oldest DeFi protocols, 8.5 bill. These are a little bit different than when you're talking about these larger scale protocol plays. Hopefully I did an okay job explaining that. But GIF, yeah, continue.
Well, okay, first of all, NFT Cutie just saying staking is an outright scam. Interesting take. Maybe we can discuss that. Nick Swerve is coming in here swinging, saying 1.2 billion can get squandered faster than an 8-ball in a shitty Vegas restaurant. love that take. And yeah, I mean, we've seen what FTX can do to make billions disappear into a couch cushion, etc. But my whole take with this is one of these like betting on the team and the jockey situations, because Blur and the history of their product launches to me is actually incredibly impressive. Nobody was able to shake OpenSea's death grip on the NFT market until they fucking came along, and now they've dominated it. This is not an easy thing to do, but they fucking dominated it. So if I'm a betting man, I'm betting that whatever Pac-Man and this Blast team, which now is definitely going to be well financed, they're going to have a lot of interest, they're going to be able to market the shit out of this, they're going to have the full attention of everybody in the entire space, and I think they're going to do something remarkable with it. It's tough to know what exactly that looks like. We can't predict what happens 3 months, 6 months ahead of now. But if anybody's going to be doing really unique things with L2s that are changing the fucking game, I'm betting on them over almost anybody.
Really?
That's just how I feel right now. And again, executionally, if it's a shitty launch or some things go wrong, it could all dump. It could all go the other fucking way. And exactly what you're saying, everybody fucking wants to exit as quickly as fucking possible. That's the high risk, high reward. I'm just saying I would be shocked if they didn't push it back or take their time to make sure that when they launch, it's a pretty impressive launch and that they've got a ton of applications, unique things, ways to fucking keep the plates spinning, awesome new games, applications and NFTs, marketplaces, everything over there. I think it's going to be a whole fucking giant casino that is way more interesting than the majority of other L2s out there.
And real quick, one quick point I wanted to make about Eigenlayer. Another thing about Eigenlayer too is that Eigenlayer managed to get the support of a lot of the ETH purists, right? And so with that support, they're gonna make sure that they hold their restaking platform up at least throughout the whole bull run.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's you don't really have much. Let me not say that. Me personally, I think that there probably won't be much to worry about when it comes to Eigenlayer. That's just my opinion.
All right, we're going to move on into another topic here. We're rounding out the episode probably here in 10 minutes, so definitely want to fit as much as we can. I know Ronan was asking earlier about SEI. He was talking about V2, a couple different things, and then another one of you fine folks was talking about the Minister of NFTs, which is a larger X profile, and I guess he threw the white SEI flag here and says, what is it and how to get involved. He does a brief breakdown here of SEI, what's to come with V2, EVM integration here, how to set up a Compass wallet, all of the stuffs. So let's jump in real quick. We obviously were talking about Dob. All of us are now Dob holders.
Feels good, man.
It does feel good, doesn't it? We're sitting at 385. I believe the top here on Dob was 450. Saytopia did launch today. It was a very low mint. I don't necessarily have. I'll ask Buffalo if he could find the details here on what went down this morning.
He said free mint.
Yeah,
so that's pretty awesome for a fucking free mint right there.
Can we look at them real quick? I think.
Yeah, let's
go
see the art.
Okay. Oh, so it looks like Nikola. It looks like they're using Tesla here as the base character.
Okay. I'm not really a big fan of the art, but I think what's more interesting is that it's something more unique than the pixel shit, and also the fact that most other than Ethereum and Solana and Bitcoin, I guess now, like there's just not many places where you can go get a free mint that turns into $500 NFTs immediately. That's just a very another hard thing to accomplish, to have an NFT ecosystem where you can get a free mint that turns into real money.
I know we had the Toshis there in the chat on GM Web3 this morning. We've been all over the place. We've been spreading our bets. We've been winning. My best performing asset over the last month has been these fucking $5 dinos.
Get out of
that
here.
have turned into 0.045. So it went from like $5 to what is it at now? 109. This is on base, folks. So don't fade base. Got a bunch of these dinos at $5 and I don't understand.
What
the
really
situation
grinds
is
my
here.
gears about these is that they're almost as valuable as the OG tiny dinos. And it's just like, come on.
Tiny
Why?
dino on ETH.
Yeah, I still hold one of the original
yeah,
tiny
yeah.
dinos. I had like 4 of them at one point. And
All right.
no, those are like they're like reaching close to the fucking floor price of the originals. I'm just like, why? Why
all
do
right.
you do this?
I love. So Nick Swerve is saying startup, cash in, sell out, bro down. That is the official roadmap of Web3. So I appreciate you getting that out of the way. Squashman said try to get whitelist on Satopia, but no bueno. Got whitelist for outlines though. Yeah, outlines is coming up. I've been seeing goblins around while we stick in this Say ecosystem. And guys, let me know if you have, jump in whenever basically. But goblins is an interesting watch. They do have an AMA tomorrow. Kryptonite, Dragon Swap has been brought up a bunch of times on the network here. But any thoughts on the upcoming stuff here on, I know Yaka Finance is doing an NFT as well. These are all things to pay attention to.
Quantum's asking a great question. Does base maintain royalties? I don't know if somebody can find the answer to that. One of the things that has made us particularly bullish on Say, and I would argue is probably going to be one of the secrets to their success of having a robust NFT community and legit creators going over there, is the fact that they are bringing royalties back. It's an amazing fucking thing. As far as NFT communities go and creators go, you avoid the race to zero, you avoid the negative feedback loops, and you support legit creators and teams that can keep building in a more sustainable way. So I don't know about base. Would love to know the answer. Great question.
Well, it's based on the optimistic rollup, right? And it's an EVM compatible. So I would imagine no. It's still something that's going to be able to be circumvented.
Yeah, circumvented, I would agree with you on. I will say there's this weird like meta that's happening with these chains, man. Like the creator earnings right there, base on-chain dinos, 5%. Like why on these chains did these not pop up as non-royalty projects? Like they just somehow got created. Like these metas got created. The same meta was NFT meta, obviously is in full swing, and for some reason it just didn't start as 0% royalties. Even though that was the where we were in the marketplace timing of on ETH, it makes no sense to me. Like we basically reverted back instantly. I don't why.
I don't think it was instant. People were complaining about needing solutions for royalties for literally like a year before we started to get actual solutions starting to come out.
Yeah, but we were 0% royalties. And then we just switched. We just said, "Oh no, on Say we're 10%, 5% royalties."
Well, it reverted back to a standard that came before 0% royalties. That people actually, it was working. You could argue for a while that standard was working well until Blur and other. I guess who was the first one? Wasn't it like Sushi or Suda?
It was like X2Y2.
Was it Magic Eden?
Magic Eden.
Yeah. Do you think part of it though is like
Sumo,
the very low gas fees, the low transaction fees make people care a little bit less about paying royalties?
I think that factors in as well. That helps. Yeah. That's a little bit more. Also, Squashman's throwing out fucking Wag Me United here.
Why? Why would you say those words?
Have we checked in over there?
No.
Pond.
Don't.
Do I even?
We should
Do not
do
open that door.
somebody needs to do a full what do you call it? Like not a debrief. What do you do when you look at a dead body? A post-mortem.
A post-mortem, yeah, post-mortem report.
Somebody needs to do a full post-mortem on WAGMI United and let us know where it went wrong.
So you want us to dig the body up, huh?
I'm actually pissed. Biggie told me not to go, and I win, and I'm mad.
Yeah,
I'm leaving.
You found the pain, didn't you? You found it.
What's their current standing?
I don't care.
I don't know. I do appreciate the royalty debate, right? And I think creators, I love that innovative idea, right? Like that you would be able to enforce that, right? Having said that, I do very much despise the idea that that's the one thing you get to rely on to build up your project or your NFT or live off as an artist. Like it should not just be that. And
it just makes a difference. It's not the only answer. It's not the only thing, but it does actually make a difference for creators and teams to have a little bit more runway or sustainable revenue coming in. And also like understand that the incentive for them to continue building has to be that like, hey, there's going to be some, like if we keep investing, let's say that we're spending $5,000 on an activation, $10,000 on a new website, $15,000 to launch a new
another
product,
revenue stream,
$30,000 to hire a new mod or community manager, like, and there's nothing coming back for any of these things. Like, dude, it's impossible. And at least it makes it a little bit easier.
It's an interesting model these people take with their mints as well. Obviously, we've been kind of looking at this a little bit closer. Like some of these same mints have been free, and then they put a 10% creator royalty on it. The thing that I would say is just get some fucking funds up front. And I would rather not have over and over again 10% royalty. It's a pretty strong fee. I would rather the project
or just kept 10% of the project.
There you go.
For yourself, right? And dip into that as you need it, right? And that shows a little more commitment and skin in the game on your end. I agree, man. I really do think that as long as we have people just looking to bring back royalties, I just think it stymies the creative business building part that is in such dire need in this space, right? Whereas like, how do you build other revenue streams? How do you actually build a sustainable business model that doesn't solely rely on the fucking royalty fees, right? Like that's one component, and sure, it's helpful, but what I just see coming back from most of these projects is, God, if we could only have royalties back. And if that's as far as your creativity goes as an entrepreneur, then you shouldn't fucking be building in this space even, right? Like launch a meme coin or do a fucking, meme NFT, man. But if you're serious about doing an actual like business, right, that's like gonna survive multiple cycles through this and is going to onboard people and you're going to grow a community, then
the gods got caught up in this.
You need a little more creativity than just royalties, man. Come on.
It's okay. So to me, it's funny, and I'm going to tie this to Pudgy Penguins. Okay, Lucanet said Pudgy Penguins will be the face of NFTs, and I think it was obvious at some point they would, because the bar is so low. There's so little competition, and it's because of exactly what you're saying, Biggie. Nobody's actually building anything. Like, I mean, some are. I don't want to take that away from the ones who are, but for the most part, people are not, and they're focused, like you're saying, on the wrong thing instead of on being creative and actually building something unique that could only happen in this space. And that's what Luke is doing. Again, that's why they are the face. But again, it's not a lot of competition out there, man.
Well, because
first of all, Bored Ape's still the face right now.
Yes. Yeah.
Go ahead, DP.
Yeah.
I'm gonna let that slide. But you're right though. I could be objective and say that you are right when it comes to that. But the thing is that we have to that whole hustler, just doing it for the moment mentality has to leave the space, right? Because what happens is these founders aren't really founders with a vision and a real roadmap for what it is that they ultimately want to build. So it's more so they come out with these projects and they say, okay, I got an idea for an NFT, I think the artwork is cool. I think we could get some vibes going and we'll get the money. So it's like, let's get the money and then we'll figure out what we need to do afterwards. But that doesn't work, because then once you get the money, it's like, oh shit, now what? And usually the product rollout is ends up being nothing, or it ends up being some BS or low hanging fruit.
Who's the financial firm that you want to keep showing off today, Q? Because I feel like this is a good time to pull up their post.
Templeton.
Franklin Templeton is tweeting out. They're
Some legit
basically
shit.
they're completely disagreeing with Mark Cuban's financial advices to not speckle. They're saying speculation is actually a value of the space and necessary. And so why am I throwing this in here on the back of what DP is saying? It's because I think that more education, more wisdom, more sophistication in general for people, and hopefully people starting to reward, legitimate builders, products, etc., more than the shitty grifters and the hype men who are not actually creating anything valuable or have just shitty intentions. I would hope that that's the trajectory that we're on, but I'm also not going to ever imagine that speculation and nonsense isn't always going to be a big part of what the space is built on. And that indeed, that can be a good part of the space as long as it's not completely just, detrimental and like wrecking people constantly, which unfortunately a lot of it is. But I'm just trying to say, I think that even as we get more sophisticated, even as traditional investment starts to come in, even as hopefully the average buyer gets a little bit wiser, if you're watching this show, you probably are. I still think there's going to be a lot of fucking nonsense, and that's kind of part of the casino nature of this whole beast, right?
You're building on a financial stack. Like,
that's decentralized.
If you want to go create digital art and be in Web 2, that option is available to you. This is what I can't understand about the people that want to turn this space into what they think it should be. You are building first and foremost off a protocol that is financially based only. I don't get it. It
is. I agree, but it's also an attempt to improve upon said financial infrastructure, right? And to do that, you do need to try to imbue it with a certain sense of ethos, ownership, and community, which people to this day refuse to do, right? Ownership on when they speculate and lose their shit. Ownership on keeping their fucking seeds, right? Like, and seed phrases. Like, there's a lot of things that need to fucking change if you really want to have an improvement. I'm not saying it's a fucking revolution, turn it upside down, all these like extremist things that you hear most of the time. I agree with you, Q. It is a financial stack, and I think should be eradicated from the space. If you want to launch a Trump NFT, go fucking launch a Trump NFT. If you want to be a fucking rugger and just do a quick meme coin, you can fucking do that too. It's up to you and the people that want to fucking buy into your shit, right? But in the end, I think the majority of the people that like did come into this space have an opportunity right now. What is it? 10,000 wallets again trading against each other. We have an opportunity right now to redefine some of these composures that have been long fucking imbued in how we transact with each other, right? And so without getting too woo-woo with you, I agree there shouldn't be any shoulds there, right? But I do think that if you are serious about like trying to make however small of a change, right? It starts with how you behave and what the hell it is you back, right? And so I do think that when this time passes, there will be a moment where you're going to want to hide some of your fucking shitty wallets because they're going to reveal maybe some stuff that you don't want people to see. Right?
Okay, so look, Quantum Variant saying royalties are a drop in the bucket, but when a project pops off, the creators should be able to be rewarded with some of that too. I think that's a good take.
Yeah. It aligns the incentives of the hard work with the rewards. That's what that should be, in my opinion, part of the space.
Especially with artists, right? Like that's where where it really hits the hardest, right? Because since time immemorial, we've always heard the phrase of the starving artist, right? And this was a potential solution to at least alleviate some of these issues. When it comes to a project, though, in my opinion, it's like don't just sit there and rely on that. Come up with something better.
I'm going to lean into this. Okay, so Elf of Rivendell saying my Dobbs bags are looking strong. First of all, fantastic. Yeah, very Dob day to you, sir. Folk you saying always speckle. It's a little bit different than what we say here. And then everybody is leaning into this Bored Ape comment. Like, I'm sorry, but Bored Ape Yacht Club, as much as y'all don't want it to exist, is the face still of the NFTs to the outside world.
I think it's more. It might be closer than you think on that. You're probably right, but here's the thing, Q. How many people over the last couple months in the holiday season were buying Pudgy Penguins toys all across the world? We're not just talking about Walmarts in the US. We're talking about Canada, UK, toy stores. Like internationally, these Pudgy Penguins, they're on Fox TV, they're on QVC, they're on in all the fucking magazines. They're fucking everywhere right now. And even if most people are not directly associating these toys with NFTs yet, because that's the brilliance of what Luke is doing. He's Trojan horsing NFTs through a digital, through a QR code and NPC chips, whatever. NFC, whatever. The point is, even if most people yet have not made the full connection to make them the face outwardly to the world, what is actually getting more distributed out there right now as far as an IP goes? I think it's Pudgy Penguins.
Dude,
it might be closer to the
you're right.
Point with that, dude. I recently went to my local dispensary, and all the bud tenders there had like little Pudgy Penguins pins on them. Wait, this is the craziest part. So I'm talking to the guy helping me out, and I'm like, dude, I love your pin. What's up with that? Just to see what's up. He didn't fucking know. He didn't know what it was. He was like, oh, a friend of mine.
Here's what I will say.
Private chat.
Gaming's going to take this and really have a good competition, because I think it has a little bit more reach than physical products. So when you're talking about how many people saw Orenji win $1 million playing Dookie Dash and how many people saw it on streams, like you have to add this into that factor too.
Can I say one thing that's very remarkable about what Biggie just said? Is that the Bored Apes have been the best at infiltrating weed and dispensary culture and getting like different types of branded, wraps and fucking weeds and shit like that. So the fact that you go in there and the first thing you're seeing is Pudgy Penguins in a dispensary, which is the last place that you'd think that you'd see Pudgy Penguin.
A single
Bored Ape shit out of here. Get it out of here.
It's anecdotal. It is anecdotal, but it's crazy.
They're taking over. They're leaving Dookie Dash in the fucking sewer where it belongs. Get this shit out of here. I'm doing that for you, Nick. Involve my other fun.
All right, I'll take the FUD today. Squashman saying, I think that's the crux of it. They don't realize Pudgies are NFTs yet, so not the face of it. Once the connection is made, I agree they will also be another more lovable face of NFTs. That's another great part too. Like Hudah, you just talked about, you just showed this link.
Where's my pins, dude? I have yet to receive my
God. I see more bitching about these Disney collectible pins than anything, which is probably bullish.
Yeah, it is.
Hudah, what do you see here?
Oh man, I mean, it's just we're talking about being the face of Web3 and just that comparison there. They're about to flip. I'm assuming that's on Giphy, but about to flip Disney as far as total views. Not nothing, man. That's pretty huge to accomplish in basically a year and a half.
Crazy,
right?
That's crazy. Even what wasn't it the VP of product at Disney who even was like, "Yo, what are they doing over there?" Because this
he's never seen someone grow a brand as fast as Luca.
Dude,
here's.
A lot of times we look at these fucking numbers and they're just numbers. And a lot of times, to be fair, like in Web3 and NFTs, like numbers can also be very sus. But this is a very not biased number where you're comparing like the biggest IP in the fucking world to something that's literally only been doing this for like a year and a half or something. And to see those numbers, like if you actually try to understand what that means, those are crazy numbers.
I want to have a full Pudgy versus Bored Ape show because there are people on both sides. Quantum Variant's throwing his idea in the ring here. He's saying lots of ape IP building companies. That is one thing that apes have over Pudgies right now is that you see other people that are in the community building different products. I know, and then the first thing people say is like, "What are they building?" They're building like water and
weed companies.
They're doing all this stuff.
Yeah.
I get it, but yeah, let's have a full day where we're just getting after it, fellas. This has been a good one. Simply Sunday also saying Dob's going to be the face of NFTs. So.
Like that.
I'll buy that.
I'm cool with that.
I'm here for it. Shit, I got a Dob. Push it. Let's
Welcome to the early adopters. We're happy to have you.
All right, guys, do you have any other stories we missed probably on some of these droops and alt? You know, they'll all be in the description afterwards. I'll drop it for you. But alt layer, there's a ton of airdrops and
yeah, dude, I'll just mention on top of course the Trump on Bitcoin thing. Thank you X is minting a 100 edition art collection over on Bitcoin today. So that's on Magic Eden. It's way too expensive for me to touch it. Right, it's 0.04 Bitcoin, but really big artist. So pretty important mint over there today. Keep your eyes on it just because it's cool.
Pizza
Great
ninjas.
art too.
I'll throw pizza ninjas in here at the end. That's happening.
Look at Squash Man. Squash, I want more Ace and Pudgy collabs.
Now,
you know what? Trying to tack on to the Pudgy success.
I see some really cool comments out there on Twitter especially, or X. Bored apes that are excited for Pudgies and are rooting them on and saying they want to see it, and then they want to collab with them. Like that's cool as fuck, and that's the spirit.
That's the attitude.
I want to kill all Pudgy Penguins.
More collaboration, less competition.
All right,
more with that.
Here's what we'll do. This is a great collab that we had up here today. I mean, getting these amount of folks here every day. I mean, in the conversations we get to have with y'all there in chat as well. Like, this is a really cool collaboration as well. I need an OVOT, so I just put that in chat. I need an OVOT more than I've ever asked for one because DP came onto the show today. He did a great job. I mean, we knew he was going to kill it, but he did a great job here. So I just want the OVOT in chat for him.
Can I just extend my appreciation for you all, for this community, for everybody on the stage? Man, I appreciate the warm embrace. I've appreciated being a part of this community for as long as I've been a part of it. And I love what you all have put together. And I just appreciate the fact that you all are allowing me to be a part of what you all are building. So I'm here for you all. I'm here for the community, and I'm ready to, get things moving. Let's shake shit up this cycle. Let's, bring it to 100. I want to end this cycle with this platform, with this channel having at least 200,000 subscribers. We can do it.
I like that.
Fucking do
Get it. All 5 of us on a yacht.
I see a lot more
in the distance.
Without naming anybody, just popping shit. I see a lot more nerdier people with fucking lisp and all kind of shit that's got Cheeto fingers, that's coming from the basement community with millions of followers. We deserve at least 10% of those. So let's get it.
Listen, I don't know how to. I'm done talking because DP just laid it down there. Hudah, Biggie Poppins, and then Gift Ed, and let's get out of here.
Speechless. I got nothing, guys. See ya.
I've been wanting to say that I really appreciate that on Hudah's 5-minute daily videos, he doesn't give them the full mullet. He only rocks the mullet for NFT Live. He only lets the mullet down when he's on NFT Live. He's all business, no party when he's doing his 5-minute videos, but he lets the party down when he's here. And I just
there's more coming to the shtick.
Yeah, it's fucking great. And that's it. Shout out DP. Awesome having you. Excited to see where it goes.
Thank you.
All right, Biggie, send us out, man.
Man, I'm going to double down on what Dayton said. And it's great to have you here, brother. You guys definitely need to follow Dayton. He's got tremendous alpha. He's very generous with his knowledge and time. Definitely give him a follow. It's one of the beautiful things about this community, man. And to all you in the chat, I just want to encourage you to engage with us as often as you can. Like, I think we're pretty accessible people. We mean well. And it's what drew me also into this place. And it's what keeps me coming back all the time. Nothing but love and respect for all of y'all. So OVOT, and we'll see you tomorrow. Friday session. It's going to be fucking lit.
2 hours again, maybe more.
3
4-hour Fridays, bro.
Marathon.
24-hour Fridays. See you guys.